Imagine waking up tomorrow and everything is gone. And I want you to actually think about this. If you woke up tomorrow and everything was gone, no job, no savings, nothing in your account, what would you actually do? Not what you think you'd do. Not the calm, logical answer. What would you actually do at 9 in the morning when the panic sets in? Because I've thought about this a lot, and I've got a real answer, a step-by-step plan, one I'd actually follow. And honestly, some of it is going to surprise you. Here's the thing about financial rock bottom. Most people handle it completely wrong. Not because they're not smart, not because they don't try, but because nobody ever gave them a real playbook for it. So they panic. They make fast decisions under pressure. And those fast decisions, they make the hole deeper. I want to give you that playbook today. 7 steps in the exact sequence I would follow. And look, step 5 is the one that most people skip entirely. It's also the reason most rebuilds fail. So stay with me. This one's worth your full attention. Picture this. It's a Tuesday. Ordinary Tuesday. You've got coffee going. You're getting ready. And then your phone rings. Or maybe it's an email. Or a calendar invite you didn't put there. Either way, within 30 minutes, your income is gone. You sit in your car for a while, just staring out the windshield. You've got maybe $400 in your account. Rent hits in 3 weeks. Car payment in 10 days. And your phone buzzes. It's your partner. Just a normal text. Hey, how's your day going? And you just stare at it. That moment right there, that silence before you figure out what to say, that's the moment this whole video is about. Because what you do next determines everything. Step 1, control the panic before it controls you, okay? So, the first 24 hours after something like this, they're not dangerous because of the money. They're dangerous because of the decisions you make while you're scared. Let me be honest about something. When your brain is flooded with fear, it literally cannot think long term. That's not me being dramatic. That's just how cortisol works. And so people make these fast, desperate moves. They take the first job offer, even if it pays way less than they're worth. They dip into their 401k to cover 1 month of rent. They throw a big expense on a credit card just to feel stable. Every single one of those decisions makes sense in the moment. And every single one of them makes the rebuild 10 times harder. So step 1, and I mean this seriously, is to give yourself 48 hours before you do anything drastic. Sit down, grab a notebook, write down only what you actually know, not what you're scared might happen. What is actually, factually true right now. I have $400. Rent is in 21 days. I have skills. I have time. And I have options I haven't explored yet. When you write down what's real instead of what you fear, the situation almost always looks more manageable. Panic is not a feeling. It's a thinking impairment. And the most expensive mistakes people ever make happen in the first 24 hours after bad news. Step 2, stop the bleeding before you earn a single dollar. Here's what most people do the moment they lose income. They immediately start asking, how do I make money? And look, that question matters. But it's not the first question. The first question is, how do I stop losing the money I still have? Think about it. Cutting $200 in expenses gives you the exact same result as earning $200. But it takes 30 minutes instead of a whole day of work. So the first week of zero income, I'm going through every single recurring charge. Subscriptions I'm not actively using, gone. Gym membership I haven't touched, paused. Streaming services, extra phone plans, whatever. If it's not essential, it's gone. I'm calling my insurance provider and asking for a lower rate. I'm rebuilding my grocery list from scratch around the cheapest foods that actually keep me going. This isn't about being miserable. This is about buying yourself time. Because every dollar you preserve in the first 30 days is a dollar that isn't adding pressure to your situation. And less pressure means clearer thinking. And clearer thinking means better decisions. You can't fill a bucket that has holes in the bottom. Seal the leaks first, then worry about adding more water. Retention hook. The next step is where most people completely miss the mark. They do what feels logical, and it costs them weeks. I'll show you what to do instead. Step 3. Generate real cash in 72 hours. Not 72 days. Okay, here's where most people go wrong. They lose their job, and then they spend 2 weeks updating their resume, applying to positions online, and waiting for callbacks that don't come. 2 weeks later, they've heard nothing, and their savings are 2 weeks smaller. Here's the thing about the job market right now. It's slow. Applications take weeks. Interviews take more weeks. Offers take even more after that. You don't have weeks. You need movement now. So instead of applying for jobs, at least not immediately, I would look at every skill I have and ask one question. What can I charge for this today? If I can write, there are small businesses on Craigslist paying someone to write emails, posts, basic marketing copy. If I can fix things, every neighborhood has something that needs work. If I can drive, delivery apps can have you earning in 48 hours. I'm not saying make this your career. I'm saying generate bridge income while you build the longer-term strategy. Even $300 in the first week changes everything. Not because of the money, because of how it makes you feel. You stop being someone things are happening to, and you start being someone who's doing something about it. The fastest path out of financial fear isn't a job offer. It's any legitimate action that generates cash while you wait for the bigger opportunity. Step 4. Use what you already know. You're not starting from zero. I want to push back on something for a second. When most people lose their income, their first instinct is to find the same job they just lost. Same title, same industry, same lane. And look, sometimes that makes sense, but it also locks you back into the exact situation that just failed. Here's a better question. What do you already know that someone would pay for, outside of a traditional job structure? If you've worked in marketing for 5 years, there are hundreds of small business owners right now who would happily pay $500 for one afternoon of your insight. If you know Excel, data, operations, team management, those are contractor skills that businesses pay for daily. And here's what I've noticed. One well-written email to a former colleague that says, "Hey, I'm available for consulting. Here's a specific problem I can solve for you." That email has more income potential than 50 applications sent to strangers on LinkedIn. You are not starting from zero. You are starting from years of experience, relationships, and knowledge that took a long time to build. The only thing that changed is the structure. The value is still there. Most people underestimate what they already know. The rebuild doesn't require new skills. It requires applying existing ones in a different container. Step 5 is the one that changes how people think about income forever. This is the real unlock. Stick around. It's worth it. Step 5. Don't just rebuild. Rebuild differently. Okay, I want to be honest with you about something. Every time I've had to rebuild from a hard place, and it's happened more than once, I made the same mistake. I rebuilt one income source, got a new job, got stable, breathed again, and the next time something went wrong, I was right back at zero. Because one source can be cut off in one moment. And I'd built nothing else. The people who never have to go through this again, and I mean never, they're not the ones who found the best job. They're the ones who, during the rebuild, decided they were never going to rely on a single stream again. So this time, I'd build differently. Stream 1, the rebuilt income. Job, freelance, whatever gets me stable. Stream 2, a side skill I can offer on the side. Consulting, coaching, freelance work. Something. Stream 3, something digital that can run without me. A course, a newsletter, a content channel. Something that earns when I'm not actively working. Stream 4, eventually investments. Income that grows quietly in the background, not all at once. One stream every 90 days. Intentional. Steady. And here's what that feels like after 2 years. You stop being afraid of the phone call. You stop dreading the conversation with HR. Because even if one thing collapses, 3 others are still standing. Financial safety isn't a salary. It's a system. One stream is fragile. Multiple streams are resilient. The goal of the rebuild is never to replace what you lost. It's to design something stronger. Step 6. Start investing again, even when it feels too soon. This is the step people push off the longest. And honestly, I get it. When you're rebuilding, investing feels irresponsible. Like, I should be saving every dollar, not putting it somewhere it could drop. Here's the thing, though. I'll start again when things feel more stable. That sentence has cost people more money than almost any investment mistake ever could. Because things never feel stable enough. There's always something. A month that ran tight. A bill that came in. A reason to wait just a little longer. And suddenly, it's been 3 years. So here's the rule I'd follow. The moment I have more coming in than going out, even by $20, I restart. Not a big amount. $20. $50. Whatever I can do. Because here's what I've realized. The amount isn't the point. The habit is the point. The identity is the point. Every month you invest, even when it's inconvenient, even when nobody would blame you for not doing it, you are telling yourself a very specific story. The story that you are the kind of person who builds wealth, even in hard times. And that story, it compounds faster than the money does. The most important investment you'll make during a rebuild isn't the biggest one. It's the first one, because of what it says about who you've decided to become. Step 7. Build a system that makes this impossible to repeat. Okay, last step. And this is the one most people skip because they skip it exactly when things start going well again. You get stable, you exhale, and you quietly go back to doing things the same way. And the cycle repeats. The whole point of a real rebuild isn't to get back to where you were. It's to build something that doesn't fall apart the next time the world throws something at you. So what does that actually look like? An emergency fund, 6 months of expenses, sitting in a high-yield savings account, not invested. Because when the next thing happens, and something will, you want options, not desperation. A financial learning habit. 1 book, 1 quality video, 1 real conversation about money per month. So your decisions keep getting better over time, the same way your investments do. A written income plan, not just in your head, on paper, with timelines. And most importantly, a genuine decision that financial fragility is not your default, that you build systems. You don't just survive crises. The people who never have to rebuild again aren't the ones who had better luck. They're the ones who used the hard moment to design something that doesn't break the same way twice. I want to leave you with something. The situation we just walked through, the job gone, the account nearly empty, the pressure closing in. That is genuinely one of the most terrifying things a person can face. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. But here's what I've noticed about the people who come out the other side. Not the ones who had the best luck. Not the ones who had the most money. The ones who came out stronger. They used the clarity. Because here's the strange thing about losing everything. When it all gets stripped away, you see with total clarity what you're actually capable of, what you'd actually fight for, what kind of financial life you actually want to build. Most people never get that clarity until a crisis forces it. You don't need to lose everything to use this plan. Actually, the best time to think through this is before you ever need it. Because the people who never feel financially desperate aren't the ones who never faced hard times. They're the ones who had a plan before those hard times arrived. You just made one. You are not your financial situation. You are the person deciding what to do about it. And that person, the one watching this right now, is more capable than any crisis that's ever coming. Before you go, I want to ask you something real. If you woke up tomorrow with nothing, which of these 7 steps would be the hardest for you? Drop it in the comments. I'm not asking to be polite. I genuinely read every single one. And your answer shapes what I make next. If this video gave you something worth keeping, subscribe to Wealth Storyline. Every week we go deeper on the money habits and mindset shifts that actually change where you end up. Not motivation, not inspiration. Real strategy, real clarity, real talk. The next video's already on your screen. It covers something most people in your situation have never once thought about. And once you see it, it changes how you look at everything. I'll see you there.